Hey, what's up, everybody? This is weird. It took me an hour and a half to set this up because I forgot how to do it. Nicole's downstairs. What's up, Brandon Sable? Oh, Wolfie, what's up? What is this stuff? This purple crowns. What is this about? Something YouTube has done. I know it's been a long time. Do you guys? Oh man, dude, I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad to see you guys. I didn't even know if anyone would jump on here, but I've definitely missed this a lot, and I don't know, man. I hope everyone's having a or had a great summer. I know here in the South Carolina, dude, it has been some days the feel is 118 degrees, but I think that's finally over. I think now we're rolling into the cooler months, which is great because this is my favorite time of the year because of Halloween's coming up, and I think that's what like kind of really pushed me back because I do miss this so much, man. But I mean, I'm not complaining, but the pay's not that great, and obviously I can't support myself just doing this. So I had to take a furniture gig, and I sell furniture and mattresses, and it's fucking boring, but it's just what I got to do. Anyway, not complaining, but I do definitely miss this, and that's kind of settling down now. I've like worked really hard at it, and now it's just kind of going on its own, selling shit, and but whatever. But I oh, Wolfie's back from Texas. Don't even talk about the weather. Uh 3 more classes till you graduate. Started. I remember when you started. Holy shit. I remember when you started that college and you're already about to graduate. That's crazy. Congratulations. Holy shit. Talk about commitment. Oh my god, dude, talk about like you like went for it for real. That is so awesome. I mean, I honestly I tried another college too, like literally around the same time you were doing it, and I did one class. So, holy shit. Congratulations. That's freaking awesome. You like wanted to do it and you did it and you're like at the finish line. That's so awesome. That is so motivational. I do have a story today. So this story did I was gonna like I said, I wanted to get back into this so much. And as soon as the story happened, I was like, fuck, this is the perfect time to do it. And this was a month ago. It's still, probably no one's covered it. I don't know because I don't listen to podcasts. But I don't know. It's kind of a Halloweenish story too. And it's just got a lot to it. And I think you guys will like it. So I don't know. I'll give it a couple more minutes. I know Shram will be super mad if she misses this. Oh, I can turn it up. See, I asked Nicole if I was too quiet. I'll turn it up right quick. Hold on. Just give me a second. Will you tell me? Oh, that's still too low. Hold on. Is that better? Can everyone hear me now? I think it's still a little too low. So is that's better? It's not like clipping, is it? Or anything? It's been so long I had to set this all up again. Literally had to do all this again. So like you take a couple months off and everything is just out of whack. I don't even know how to fix things right now. It's just a lot. But I hope it's good. I don't want to mess with it. Probably shouldn't mess with it. No, I'm not going to mess with it. I want to mess with it. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to mess with it. I should put a compressor on there. No, fuck it. Y'all don't care. All right. See, that was the old me. That's why it was like the old me is like trying to fix every little thing. Don't mess with it. Okay, I'm not going to mess with it. I miss doing serial killers a lot too. Like, that is one thing I really miss also. But this isn't a serial killer case. I see. I can't. This mic isn't even right. Holy shit! It's like all over my face. I got a lot of work to do. This is unlisted. That's why it's unlisted, I guess. All right. Let me know if y'all have heard of this story. This happened July 3rd. So what was that? What's today? The 12th? I guess it's the 12th. Yeah, so I guess a month ago. And it's kind of sad, but at the same time, we don't actually know if what had happened was the cause of this man's death. But anyway, we're going to talk about this guy. His name is Dan Rivera. And this is this man right here. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And y'all just talk to me in the chat because I'm super nervous. I don't know if y'all can tell. 11th what? All right. This is Dan Rivera right here. Does anybody know this guy? So you would know this guy if you watch Ghost Hunters. What was the one he was just doing? This guy, he's recently passed, but he is an Army veteran, which is freaking awesome. And he's a paranormal investigator who studied with, he like, I guess studied is the right word. He studied under Ed and Lorraine, Ed and Lorraine Warren, which are the famous, like the most famous paranormal researchers in the world. Like everyone knows who they are. And this guy, he's always been into the paranormal, and he when he was younger actually studied with the two top paranormal investigators, Ed and Lorraine, in the field. This guy, at the time of his death, which was last month, was 54 years old. And we're going to go through a little bit of his death, but this story isn't really on him per se. But anyway, so do you guys know what I'm talking about? He's not the one who his wife tried to put a hit on. What? No. Did not see that. I don't know. Was that a paranormal guy? No, I'm not seeing anything like that. Father, devoted husband, loyal friend. He's a father of four, a husband, and someone who truly cared about people. You're thinking of someone else, but I definitely want to know who you're talking about. It's not him, dude, but that's a pretty cool little tidbit there. Anyway, so you guys haven't heard this. All right, his recent death, July 13th, 2025. This guy was 54 years old, and he's the lead investigator of NESPA, which is the New England something of paranormal research, whatever. And he's on tour with his company, and there's one thing everyone's talking about. He's in Pennsylvania on this Devils on the Run tour, featuring this one super famous haunted object. Does anyone want to take a guess what haunted object he was touring with? It's super famous. I know you guys heard of it. If you can take a guess, man. Ah, dude, Brandon, did you look it up? Yes or no? It's okay if you did. Yeah, there you go. So I'm gonna show you a picture of Annabelle here. Let me. This is Annabelle. So that's a Raggedy Ann doll, and it's also the this story, not specifically Dan Rivera, but this doll is the inspiration for that movie, The Conjuring. And so, yes, yes, this Raggedy Ann doll is a real life doll. And this is the doll he was touring with. This is the exact one. This was actually taken in the 70s when this doll was put in this box. And you can see at the bottom of this box where Annabelle's feet are, there's a sign that says, "Warning, positively do not open." So, like, that's super interesting. And he's on tour with this thing and he dies. Now, he wasn't right at the doll. Okay. He was actually in his hotel room. And by all sources I could find, it was natural causes. A 54-year-old in good health of natural causes. I mean, come on, man. And the family and even the Nesper organization said they don't want anyone to make a horror piece off of this and try to connect it with the Annabelle doll. But this isn't the first person who's been killed by Annabelle. This isn't the first person who has died with this haunted object. This, and I'm not saying this doll did it, but it's pretty interesting. The past of this doll is it's hard to comprehend, and it's actually hard to believe unless you're certain that paranormal things exist. And I've never been, dude. I've always, since I started this, I was always the one that says ghosts aren't effing real. They don't exist. None of that shit's real. And as I get older, I'm starting to change my outlook on that. Is a lot of the stories that we've done helped me change that outlook. But also, I don't know, it's just, I don't know, you hear more stories of things that you can't really explain. And if you believe in ghost as energy and stuff like that, like energy can get trapped into homes and stuff. And if it's negative energy, then it could have some negative, happenings. I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys believe in this? I'm going to tell you all the stuff about this doll. But right now, if you know that this doll has been haunted since the 70s, and it has been the inspiration of one of the most watched horror movies of all time. Zach Baggins is foaming at the mouth. Yeah. All right. So, Brandon, I was gonna bring up this comedian, right? This guy Matt Rife. He's a comedian. I never saw his shit, but he apparently bought this doll after this happened. This was real recent, within the last couple of weeks, and I guess he's just gonna keep the doll and maybe tour with it. But dude, this guy is a comedian, and I don't know what kind of comedy he does, but you have a golden opportunity here. You could get the whole world watching you if you like do some crazy shit with this doll, right? If you take this doll on stage, let's say, everyone believes this thing's haunted, and I don't know, you just do terrible things to it. I mean, I'm not saying fuck the doll or anything. I mean, you could do that. I'm just saying, like, maybe force it to drink shots and just kind of throw it around the stage, you know? Like, if you, well, that would be fucking terrible. Anyway, this is why I'm not going to buy this doll. Hold on, let me get my beer. Imagine if the guy just bangs this doll on stage. That'd be fucking terrible. Okay, I'm like judging. I'm like judging how far I should go. It's been months since I've been on here, so I don't know if you guys have matured up or not. But yeah, when I was doing this story and I heard that, I was like, dude, why doesn't he bring it on stage and like bang it like right in front of everyone? You know what I'm saying? Holy shit, he would get so fucking famous. That would that would be over. I mean, he would be world famous. I mean, that would be that would be freaking crazy. All right, let's talk about this doll. So you guys got to tell me at the end of this if you think that this doll was the cause of this paranormal investigator's death or not. This is the doll with Ed and Lorraine Warren, and it was in their museum for a while. And this is obviously an old photo, but this thing's creepy, man. And it's just I don't know. I don't know if I believe in it or not, but it's got a crazy past, and that's what we're getting into, this crazy past of this damn doll. So, and that's what this story is about. So anyway, we're going back to 1970. We're talking about a 28-year-old nursing student. Now we're talking about the origins of this doll. So when you hear Annabelle doll, or you watch The Conjuring, and it's that doll from The Conjuring that is based off this. Obviously they couldn't probably use Annabelle because they would, copyright purposes, but when you see that, now you know the full story about the doll. And I looked up a lot of stuff on this, and I will tell you right now that in the set, this is 1970, there's not a lot of people who would want to make this stuff up. This is a 28-year-old nursing student who was given this doll by her mom for graduating nursing school, getting her own apartment. Well, she shared an apartment with her friend Angie. But anyway, there's no incentive for these two roommates, Donna and her roommate Angie, and a friend, Lou, which we're going to talk about. There's no incentive for them to lie about this at all. Donna's mom wanted to show her daughter that she's proud of her, so she bought this doll at a pawn shop. It was not really a pawn shop. It was like a I couldn't find the exact store, but it was apparently this secondhand antique store that's not there anymore, and it had like off the wall stuff, some occult stuff, some stuff from around the world type of things. And so she bought this doll. It's a Raggedy Ann doll. I mean, those things were pretty popular, so that it was a nice gesture. And when she gave this doll to Donna, the nursing student, immediately within the first month, things started happening, and they ramped up extremely quickly. So within the first few days, Donna, let me see if I can find a picture of Donna here. There might be a picture of Donna. See, here's this is the Nesper, the guy, Dan Rivera. He worked for this company, and you see the doll here. So this is the tours, and obviously, I don't know if, I guess they're still doing the tour just without him. He was the lead investigator, but you see Annabelle is the main attraction on these dolls. So I don't think they actually own the doll outright, but I think what happened is they lease it or something from, Ed and Lorraine's museum. I don't know. Hold on. I said we'd show a picture of Donna. Let me see if I can find Donna right quick. Donna. Let's see. Oh man, this doll is super effing creepy, dude. Holy shit. I'll show you kind of what I'm looking at right now. I mean, just look at this shit. And it's so like it's so in good shape. It's vibrant too. Oh my god, dude. Holy shaboons. I will tell you, the mother did not buy the doll. I've never seen The Conjuring, but the mother did not buy her daughter that. I mean, who would buy a doll that looks like that? Or maybe the doll turned into that? No, no, I've never seen the fucking movie. Has anyone seen that movie? Let's see. Where is um oh, up here it is. Here's what I want to show you right here. So this isn't Donna, but this is how big the doll was when it was given. Obviously, Donna at the time was 28, so that's definitely not her. But that's how big that damn doll is. All right. Anyway, so the mother gives Donna this doll, and within the first few days, she starts to notice that the doll seems to be moving around by itself. Now, Donna or Angie, they're both nursing students. They live there, and nurses, they work crazy hours. So she's usually gone all day. She comes back at night and then notices that the doll, which I swear I know for a fact I left Annabelle on the bed. Why is she in the kitchen? So that's how it started. The doll would kind of move around, and then it kind of climaxed at that point when she left the doll on the couch and she comes home. Her bedroom is locked, and Annabelle, the doll, is on the bed in a different position than she would ever leave the doll to begin. She actually said that this doll, Annabelle, when she came home and saw the doll in the bedroom that was locked, Annabelle was standing upright. This doll has fabric for legs. You tell me how that doll is standing upright. Okay? And this is going on a couple weeks now of the doll moving around. So I don't know. That's kind of weird. Okay? And like I said, there's no reason not to believe these two. They had no idea that this would be a story. They had no idea who Ed and Lorraine Warren were or are, right? They had no incentive to do this. They're nurses, and at the time this wasn't like a huge thing. Paranormal, I feel like in the 70s that wasn't a big effing thing. It was more like flowers and having sex with everyone, not haunted dolls. Anyway, a month after the doll arrived is when things really started ramping up. So within days, this doll was moving positions. It was here and then it's there, and I swear I left it here, and now it's locked itself in the bedroom and it's standing upright. How the hell is this is working? Donna would say she went over there and the doll just plopped over. Like it was standing upright on purpose. I mean, that is effing crazy. About 1 month later, she comes home and finds that there's parchment paper, which is like a yellowish type of paper that Donna, as a nursing student or her roommate, would never have in the apartment. Where did this doll get this parchment paper? And furthermore, how did this doll write, quote, "help us," end quote, and then on another piece of paper it said, quote, "help Lou," Lou, end quote, which is one of their friends who hasn't even been over to the apartment yet. So tell me, how does this doll know who Lou is when this guy named Lou has never even been to the damn apartment? When Lou did finally go to the apartment, he didn't stay very long because he knew, he got this terrible feeling that this doll was evil. And it obviously, like, the doll's moving around the house and writing notes. Like, that's pretty crazy. Also, a thing about the notes that they found, it was in child's handwriting, which is interesting that it would be in child's handwriting. I know the doll is kind of like a child, but that's going to come like more, that's going to be important here in a second, the child's handwriting. She would say one day that she came home and there were 3 drops of blood. This was, quote from her, a red, wet substance that she thought was blood. And she's a nurse. She sees a lot of blood. The blood didn't come from her. It wasn't on her scrubs. The blood was still wet, and there were 3 drops on this doll's hands and chest. She would say that that did it. That really scared them at that point. Okay. Now, let's talk about Lou. Lou was another friend who came over every once in a while. The first time that he came over and came into the apartment, he noticed, or he felt that fear that there was something new, a new energy in the apartment, and it was extremely negative energy, and he got very frightened by it. He warned Donna and Angie to throw the doll away, but she just couldn't do it. That was a gift from her mom. This was, so what? The doll's moving around. Oh my God. Like, whatever. We've all seen Toy Story. How cool would that be? You know, she got this doll from her mom. Her mom doesn't have a bunch of money to spend, and she's just wanting to show her daughter how much she loves her. She goes to a secondhand antique shop, buys a doll. It probably costs quite a bit, you know? I mean, the I don't know how much the regular Ann dolls were, but this thing is big, you know, and it was in great shape. So she bought it and not thought about it. You can't just throw that away. Obviously, the thing is huge. Your mom's going to come over to the apartment and the doll's not going to be there. That's the first thing she's going to notice is, where's this big ass doll? You're not going to throw it away. Anyway, they didn't throw it away. Lou wanted them to throw it away. He repeatedly told them to, but they just did not listen. He said that he, quote, felt evil intentions inside the doll, and they still wouldn't listen. Now, one day, Lou decided to take a nap in the apartment, and that was a bad mistake for him because he woke paralyzed. And I don't know if this ever happened to anyone, but when you have like a night terror, I was in one place when I was in the military that this had happened to me, and this I've always thought about this, but I I woke up. I know I wasn't dreaming anymore, but I couldn't move. I was paralyzed, and that's natural. Your body like paralyzes itself so you don't walk around and jump off the roof or whatever. That's why you get paralyzed temporarily. Anyway, so I woke up suddenly and I was paralyzed, which freaks a lot of people out and freaks me out too. Anyway, there was this thing. I don't know what it was. It may have been like in a heavy coat, a trench coat. All I remember is it was just this big creature, and it looked like it was like in a coat of some sort. I didn't see its face, but it was started to choke me. I'm being 100% honest, dude. I'm being 1,000% honest. This really happened to me. This really effing happened, and it was effing scary. And I looked it up, and I just kind of brushed it off as, oh, when you wake up, your brain is still trying to picture, it's trying to get information really quick, like where are you safe, like what's going on with your surroundings. So sometimes that stuff jumbles up and you kind of see things that's not there. But I swear to this day, man, I was being choked to death by this demon, and that was pretty effing scary. What's up, Jen? And Wolfie says she's seen the SP demon. What's the SP demon? What are you talking about? Did you say harder, Daddy? What the? Oh, sleep paralysis. Paralysis. You saw that too? Is that a real demon? What did yours look like? I remember mine was like sepia colored. It was kind of like a brownish color, like sepia toned. It was scary, man. And I kind of, I don't really think about it anymore, but that was like one of the scariest times of my life. I'm not gonna lie. Like not knowing what was happening is kind of. Anyway, So Lou, the friend, he's over at the house. He's taking a nap, you know, as people do. He wakes up. He's paralyzed. Like I just told you what happened to me. He can't move his arms. He can't move his legs. And all right, let's say this doll moves around the house. And obviously Lou knows this because they've been telling her this. They've been telling Lou all of this stuff. And they told him about the note with his name on it and everything else. Lou wakes up, and this, he would later say it was a vision, okay? But I think he may have been pressured to say that. Okay, let's just say he was pressured to say that. But this is what happened. He woke up, he was paralyzed, his arms, his legs were useless, and he looks down and he sees old Annabelle on the foot of the couch. He's napping on the couch. She wasn't there when I went to sleep. Now she starts crawling up his legs, crawling up his body, going towards his face. Now, keep in mind, he is completely paralyzed. And this is what he said. This is his testimony. He said this. Like, this is what the newspapers had interviewed him about. This right here. The doll, Annabelle, positioned her little old hands around his neck and began strangling poor Lou. The outcome of this is Lou blacked out again. He woke up, sleep paralysis. This doll's crawling up his legs, chokes him, and then he blacks out. Quote, Lou passed out. The next morning, he noticed the bruising on his neck, and he knew that the event really happened. That was from the original notes that he said. That is from the newspaper. He said that he noticed bruisings on his necks, and that's when he knew that event really happened. So, it doesn't stop there, though. All right. Another evening, Lou and Donna's roommate, Angie, they're about to go on a road trip. I guess they were kind of dating or something. So they're going to go on this road trip. They're at the kitchen table. They got all the maps out like you do before Waze, right? You got, holy shit. Does anyone even know how to read a road map? If I was like, all right, I'm going to go to Wolfie's house, I'm going to get there only by a road map, I wouldn't even know how to freaking, where do I get, like, randmcnally.com? Like, how do I even get that? It's weird. Anyway, they're reading these road maps. They're going to go on this big trip, and then they hear this loud crashing noise coming from Donna's bedroom. Donna is not home. She's at the hospital. She's working late. She's not home. There's nobody in Donna's bedroom besides, Annabelle, obviously. There's this loud crash. They're startled. They're like, what the F? And they look over because the sound, it's a small apartment. They know exactly where that sound's coming from. Donna's bedroom door is shut, and that sound came from inside of there. Lou enters the room and finds the doll tossed on the floor face down. Even though this doll has been super creepy, Donna, being sweet Donna, would never, ever leave this doll face down. This is like what her mom got her. It's very sentimental to her. Hence why she hasn't thrown the damn thing away like all you guys said you would do, right? So she puts the doll on the bed, and they walk in, and that doll is face down on the floor. They looked around. There was no evidence of an intruder coming in. The window wasn't open. The door was shut. The closet door was shut. There was no one entered this room and threw this doll on the floor. All right. At that point, Lou is standing there, and he's freaked the hell out. He gets this sense, and this is a real sense, right? I guess it pulls off your other peripherals, but like smell, maybe like the changing in the atmosphere, but you effing know when someone's standing behind you. and he knew there was somebody behind him. He knew it, and he got cold. He got 20 degrees colder in there, and he started getting goosebumps because he knows someone is breathing right on the back of his neck, and all he's got to do is turn around. And he did, and he got his throat slit. No, I'm just kidding. That didn't happen. He turned around. No one was there. But when he turns around, no one's there. He gets this pain that he had trouble. He had a lot of trouble explaining this. It's just this something's what the on my chest. Something on my chest. It's through his shirt. It's just burning, searing pain. 7 distinct claw marks, 3 vertical, 4 horizontal when he lifted his shirt up. Claw marks. Like a effing tiger slashed him right in the chest. Explain that shit. It's burning like fire. Like, it's searing. It's bleeding. His shirt's now ruined. There's blood on his hands. There's blood going down his trousers. Everything. That was it. He never stepped back in that apartment again. The wounds healed within 48 hours, but still, that was it for him. He is done. So, when Warren and his wife, what was her name? Warren, Ed and Lorraine Warren, when they took on the case, this is what they do. They would say to Lou, when they interviewed Lou, that on his chest was the mark of the beast. That's what they said. That's what they told him. I don't know, man. Like, ways, dude, I will tell you, I don't know if I use a lot of GPS with the business, the mattress business and shit. Apple is getting bad. Like, it is getting on another level bad. Like, I'm telling you, like, it sends me to the wrong neighborhoods. I remember one time it sent me 9 miles away. I put in the address, and Nicole can tell you too. It has been messing up, and like in ways that is just not even possible. Like, I remember just going down the highway, and all of a sudden, like, the car on the Apple or on the maps would, like, the car icon, like, jumps over to, like, the left side of the highway. It's like, what the fuck? What is going on here? It's just like, it's getting worse. Apple used to be good though. Like, everyone uses that, but I'm telling you, lately it's been terrible. I don't use Google because they make you, like, have an account and shit, and I don't like that. And Waze is okay too, but the problem with what I do is, like, it's easier to, like, when someone messages you on Facebook, says, "Hey, this is my address, bring a mattress over," whatever, and I click the link, it's going to automatically go to Apple. So that's why I use Apple. Anyway, what do you guys think? Have you guys heard of this? Did you guys know that this was the real story? Um, just wondering if anyone knows that. All right, let's move on with this. Excuse me. And I've never seen The Conjuring. Nicole can't watch scary movies. She's a puss. It sucks because, like, I love scary movies, and especially during Halloween, we watch, like, a lot of old movies, but you know, it's just not the same sometimes. Uh, okay, let's go on with it. It gets crazier and crazier. Mm. All right. Doo-doo-doo. So, what do you do when your doll? Anyone seen Sinners yet? No, I didn't know that. The Conjuring house is in Rhode Island. This location, the original location of this is Hartford, Connecticut, but I didn't know. Maybe it's based on someone else's. I don't know. I don't know what Sinners is. So what do you do like when you have when you're two roommates and this is happening and obviously you have a doll that's haunted or something's haunted in your house, whatever it is. Like what do you do? What's the first thing you do? The first and even today I would think this would be the case. The first thing you do is either number 1 get a priest or number 2 get a medium to see what's going on, right? I don't know how much priest would cost, but sure, medium is not that cheap. Sorry, guys. I'm like chugging beer. A medium's free. Jen, you didn't hear me, but like earlier, I was saying that lately, as of late, I've been more open to the potential reality or truthness of certain paranormal things. Like, so we got this house that we live in now, and there's all kinds of shit that goes on. Most of it I don't tell Nicole. Like, shit falls off the bookcase. We've had a picture fall off the wall. And I hung that shit myself. And literally, if I hang something, I could literally do a pull up on it. Like, it ain't going anywhere. And that thing fell, and it was a huge picture with a glass frame, so the glass goes everywhere. It just, I mean, pictures just don't fall off the damn wall. All right, you hang it up, it's not gonna fall. Like it's got to be some force that acts upon it. Like this shit just doesn't effing fall. So what I'm coming to the conclusion is the land that we live on was most likely an Indian. I can promise you it was Indian territory. We definitely know that because half the freaking I mean, the damn name of the town is Indian, and half the freaking landmarks are Indian. Wapata and Allendale and Wakama and whatever the fuck. Like, so it's very possible that this is an Indian burial ground. And the people that do these developments around here, dude, they don't give a fuck if they find bones or whatever. Dude, it's all about money. They're going to just pave over that shit, clear it out, whatever. There's some arrowheads, who gives a shit, get it the fuck out of here and let's sell it. So they don't give a fuck. But you know, I there's definitely things that happen in this house. Being a new house shouldn't be happening, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, Donnie and Angie contact a medium and they just want to get answers, right? They need to get answers. She's not getting rid of the damn doll. She's not getting rid of this Annabelle doll. That was a sentimental, was too great to her. She's not getting rid of it. A medium comes over. They do a whole seance. The whole freaking everyone sit at this table. I'll put this crystal ball in there. I'll light some candles. We can all hold hands. And literally, this is what happened. Everyone closed their eyes, and we're going to try to contact this effing demon or angel or whatever in this doll because something has some energy or some demon or some spirit or whatever has embedded itself inside this doll. Okay, that's what they already know. So now let's just try to find out who it is or who it was, I should say, that found themselves inside this doll. And like I said, if it was me and I was that comedian, I'd be finding myself up inside that doll on stage, dude. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, they finally got answers. The story behind Annabelle was, go figure, it was a 7-year-old girl who had died on the property and was never properly buried, and then apartments. Everything totaled, you know. It was a little house where this little girl, 7-year-old girl, lived. She died. She was never properly buried. And then apartments go up. And apparently that is what, and this, so I, you know what, that makes sense. The Jen said it was in Connecticut. That does make sense because this story is, or excuse me, this story is in Hartford, Connecticut, but the doll and the little girl, the apartment, and that stuff, that came from Rhode Island. So that makes sense. The apartment that was built with the little girl, built on top of the dead body of the little girl, that was in Rhode Island, and she had bought this at a secondhand antique shop. So that does make sense now how that got there. Anyway, the quote from the medium session, quote, Annabelle was a young girl that resided on the property before the apartments were built, and there were the happy times. She was only 7 when her lifeless body was found in the field upon which the apartment complex now stands. So anyway, that is Annabelle. That is apparently who is inside this doll. Now, sort of. Okay. I don't know if you guys watch. I don't know if you guys watch any horror movies or any demon possession movies or anything like that, but a spirit. I get if there's rules to being a spirit, right? It's kind of like a vampire. A vampire just can't come in your house unless you invite it in your house. Once you invite the vampire in your house, then it can come and do whatever the fuck it wants. But it has to stay outside until you invite it. Well, the same sort of thing happens here. Same sort of rule system, right? This 7-year-old girl who was in this Annabelle doll had asked permission from Donna, the owner of the doll, to stay with them because she loved them and she felt she was in a loving home. Okay. At that point, Donna agreed and gave Annabelle, or the girl, the 7-year-old girl, permission to stay inside the doll and live with them. And that was not a very good thing to do, if you believe in that, because it turns out that the 7-year-old girl, that was just a lie, and this was actually a demon. So you just told a demon he could stay with you in your fucking house rent free. So that is what actually people think. That's why it's locked in a box and says do not ever effing touch, because it's not a it's not a sweet 7-year-old girl who was found dead in the field. It's some freaking 2,000-year-old demon or whatever who's pissed off because he didn't get in heaven or was kicked out of heaven or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? That's who it really is. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the Warrens' assessment of this doll. We're talking about Ed and Lorraine Warren. They are self-taught demonologists, and they were actually, at the time, only one of 7 demonologists that were recognized in the United States. Lorraine came in life, I guess, with her own abilities, clairvoyancy. She had the ability to mediumship. She could contact the dead, and her role as that, she was born with it, got her to found the New England Society for Psychic Research, NESPR, in 1952, and they became extremely popular because they were the only ones doing this, and it was extremely popular, and they were reputable too. Like, she was actually a medium, so she would do this. Anyway, their conclusion when they studied this whole case was that it was not a child spirit, but, quote, an inhuman demonic presence. Remember, they studied demonology, and I think I was going to do a podcast at one point about, I was going to call it like God's demons and angels or some shit like that. Anyway, because there's like 2,000 different demons, right? And they're all different. It's not just some pitchfork and red horns. Like they're all, like, for instance, a succubus, right? A succubus I think is a female demon that, I don't know, attaches to you sexually or some shit like that. And then an incubus is like the male version or whatever. So they're like, they all have like special qualities or whatever. Is pretty interesting. Anyway, so they found out that this is not a child spirit, but an actual demonic presence. And from their original case file, quote, spirits do not possess inanimate objects like houses or toys, they possess people. An inhuman spirit can attach itself to a place or object, and this is what occurred in the Annabelle case. So their ultimate goal with this was, the ultimate goal of this demon was, the demon sought human possession, not permanent doll residence. So it's the doll was just a temporary base until it can actually inhabit a freaking person, right? Which is kind of crazy. All right. They would say that, and this is why they locked this doll up, had this gone on for 2 or 3 more weeks, especially after the medium seance. And if you believe this stuff, think about how important it is to be a medium and do things right. This medium basically asked Donna if she's okay with this demon staying in this doll. Okay, like, I feel like you're a bad medium for that. You should have like known that it was a possibility it could be a demon. Anyway, the Warren said that if it would have been 2 or 3 more weeks, this demon would have possessed either Donna or Angie. That was the ultimate goal. Quote, had these experiences lasted another 2 or 3 more weeks, the spirit would have completely possessed, if not harmed or killed, one or all of the occupants. No, oh, Shram, there you are. I missed you. We were all waiting on you. No, all right, the medium should have saw this anyway. Okay, this Lou has freaking scratch marks all over him. What 7 effing-year-old sweet little girl spirit is gonna scratch you the fuck up? You kidding me? Holy shit. Yeah, maybe move around and shit because it's a 7-year-old and they just move around, but you're crawling up someone's leg and then scratching them. Like, dude, you're a demon, man. Like, what the hell? All right, there was an exorcism done by this. The exorcism was performed by Father Cook. He was a Episcopalian priest, and this was a blessing / exorcism. It was this man, this priest, brought a 7-page blessing and possibly some sage or whatever into the home, and he would read it. So it wasn't like an exorcism like, get out of the body of this girl, stop possessing it in the name of Christ. No, it wasn't like that. It was like just positive energy. We're putting positiveness into the house. We're blessing the house. And, you know, it just so happened there's a demon in here, so he might not like that, and he'll get the fuck out. That was kind of what the thought process was, right? The priest declared the outcome successful, and the apartment was completely cleansed. However, you know, the demon just was like, what the hell? I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'm living here now. So, anyway, at the request of Ed and Lorraine Warren, they actually took the doll and they actually, this is crazy. When they took the doll back to their museum, they avoided highways and roads. Any place that the doll could take their car off the side of the road at freaking 80 miles an hour is what they were trying to avoid here. This is the doll that they had, when they had taken it, they actually built this box, and this is the Annabelle. Look at her. She's looking like a slut. Like, look at her hand. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are your legs uncrossed like that? You freaking slut. Oh, my God. I would totally do things to this doll on stage. Anyway, there's like the Baphomet right here, if you see. Anyway, it says, warning, positively do not touch. I think it's cut off at the end. But this doll has been in this case ever since. And this is what was on tour with Dan Rivera and his group before he died. Anyway, so the um, when the Warrens did retrieve the doll and they were driving back, there were repeated car failures. They reported brake failures and steering problems, which is why they took the back roads. In quote, and this is a quote from Ed, in no time at all the car engine was cutting out and the power steering had failed. Ugh. Ed actually doused the doll with holy water, and after that, the problems did stop, at least until they made it home. All right. The doll and the box that I just showed you is not just some box you put together from stuff from Home Depot, right? This was a blessed box. It was made with specific type of wood, like acacia wood or whatever, you know, from Jerusalem or whatever. Like it was made specifically to hold a demon inside of it. So like when you get this doll, let's say this comedian, he gets this doll, like he knows he's not supposed to just open the door for this fucking doll, right? You know, I would because I'm badass. I would totally do that, but he's not, you know. So this doll was in their home in Connecticut, and it also they would say that it did move around the house and it levitated and stuff like that. There was doors locked that were locked and they didn't lock it, stuff like that. Um, let's see. What else have we got here? Um, the doll did move to museum and these paranormal museums. There was a was he really foaming at the mouth? Who's Matt? Oh, Matt Rife. Is he dead? You say rip Matt? It'd be nuts if that comedian dies. For real. But the thing is he going to do anything with it? You know? Like he buys the damn thing, like do something funny with it, man, you know? Like fucking I don't know. I mean, my mind's on fucking the thing. That's stupid though. But you know, you could do stuff with it. You could braid its hair. Fuck, I don't know. All right, anyway, here's a couple more incidents. A one time a priest picked up the Annabelle saying, quote, "You're just a rag doll and you can't hurt anyone." And Ed told the priest, "Listen, that's the one thing you don't want to say." Hours later, the priest's brakes had failed at a very busy intersection and he ended up in emergency care, intensive care. He almost died from that near fatal crash. The the priest later told Ed and Lorraine Warren that when he was driving, it was a very busy intersection, he looks in the rearview mirror in the car, and in the back seat, who was there? The freaking Annabelle doll was in the back seat, and he skidded out the road and hit another car. Almost killed himself and another person. There was a young man who was visiting the museum and he had rapped on the glass like, hey, what you doing in there, you little bitch? And man, maybe I shouldn't be talking about this fucking thing like this. People's brakes are failing, like just doing this. And I'm like calling it a bitch and all kinds of stuff. Holy fuck. Maybe I shouldn't have done this episode. Anyway, this guy, young guy, he gets on a motorcycle, loses control, crashes into a tree, and is killed instantly. So this was the first actual victim of the Annabelle doll. A motorcyclist killed instantly when he hit a tree. Nuts, right? So if you believe that, it's nuts. Um, Crazy. Let's see. Let me see. Uh, Let me see. I think that's about it. So in 2000, let's talk about this Matt Rife guy because I just barely looked this stuff up. I don't know much about him, but in 2025, comedians Matt Rife and YouTuber Elton Casty purchased purchased both the home and the museum. Man, you can make that much money from being a comedian. I mean, I guess these YouTubers, if you're famous, you're making a ton of money. I mean, I'm sure they paid like $1 million for this effing thing, right? I mean, holy shit. But apparently, this guy said that this Matt Rife guy has like always been a paranormal type of guy. Like he's always been interested in it. So I doubt he's going to do anything really fucking funny with it. You know, which is kind of a drag. But I don't know. That is the story of the doll. So if you ever watch The Conjuring, this is uh this is what it is. So here's some notes I pulled from the Ed and Warren's files when they did this whole case. Quote, we learned that the little girl died on the property. She was 7 years old and her name was Annabelle Higgins. So that was her name. Like that was her actual name. All and this the medium said this. All Annabelle wanted to do was be loved, so she asked if she could stay with us and move into the doll. What could we do? So we said yes. You know, what an idiot. All right, that's about it for that. And obviously, going back to the first of the case, I talked about Dan Rivera. He is, you know, I'm not saying that the doll killed him, but I mean, he's doing a tour with the doll, and he dies in his apartment. Or excuse me, he dies in a hotel. And they haven't released the report yet. They said it was no suspicious, you know, nothing suspicious. It was, you know, I didn't see the word natural causes, but basically nothing suspicious, and that the autopsy would come out later, which hasn't yet. So, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? What's the consensus here? Uh, Bye, Brandon. Yeah, I'm done here too. I'm so glad to do this, man. I've been like missing it so much, and you know, it's been. I mean, I can't complain. I hope everyone's doing good. You know, I do miss everyone. I'm not gonna lie. I miss this so much, and a lot of times now, like we don't sell a lot, so I have more time, and and you know, I don't know, man. I just miss it, and I miss getting together with Jen and Nicole too. But you know, everyone's busy, busy, busy. So I don't know. I hope you guys liked it. Hope everyone's having a good week. Hope everyone's having a good summer. Everyone's here, so I'm like happy. I feel very good about that. But anyway. All right, well that's it. I'm so glad you were here, and man, it made my day. I was scared like no one would be here, but I know you guys would be here because you're freaking awesome. Anyway, all right, well I'll talk to you guys later, and I love you guys. I know I don't never say that, but I do.